everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to address a couple of things actually that have been on my mind, and I know people have done similar videos to this in the past, and to be honest with you, I haven't really watched any of them because I want you all to hear my perspective without it being tainted by anyone else's thoughts. I just want everything just to come directly uninterrupted from my brain to you. And what I want to talk about today are the reasons that your makeup does not come out as hard as you may try, as closely as you may follow a tutorial. I know for a lot of you, you feel like your makeup just never comes out like mine does, or how any other beauty, I hate this word, but gurus makeup does when you follow their tutorial. I also want to touch on something that's come to the front of my mind just in the last couple of days, which is the truth about skincare routines. I put up my recent skincare routine just the other day, and I did receive a couple of comments from viewers asking me about products I have spoken about in the past that I've said that I've loved, but they weren't featured in my current routine. So people were questioning, whether or not I still liked that product. Did I still recommend that product? Was I no longer using that? And so I wanted to address in this video, I wanted to answer some questions that you might have regarding our skincare routines. Like, are we being honest when we share those routines? Are we saying we achieved great results with a product just because the company is paying us? So I'm gonna get into that as well. And I hope that this video, again, I'm making videos to distract people from the news. I know I need the distraction. So grab a cup of coffee or a cocktail and let's just chat. I want to get into the reasons why your makeup doesn't seem to ever come out the way a YouTuber's does. And the first one is obviously the lighting. We have, well, most of us have quite the lighting setup. Even beginner YouTubers will typically always have the ring light and some lighting on the side. But there's a lot of lighting going on around us. So that really does make a huge difference. And I know a lot of you are already aware of that, but I don't think you take that into consideration enough. Now, I've never used a filter on my videos. I don't even know really how one uses a filter on their videos. I used to have a camera. I'm using a Canon now, but I used to use a Sony. And it did have a skin smoothing effect to it that you could turn on or off. And I always had it set to off. But there seemed to be just a little bit of smoothing done regardless of if I had it on or off. And there was just nothing I could do about it. I discovered through more extensive camera research that that particular Sony camera that I had does have a built-in softener that you cannot shut off. You can adjust it to have more skin smoothing, but you can't make it have none, which I thought was really strange. And that's pretty much the reason why I ended up buying a new camera. I believe in full transparency, especially when your channel demographic is where mine is. Age 35 to 55 is my core demographic. And you guys want to see reality. I want to see reality. I'm a viewer as well. And when I see extreme skin smoothing effects, although I will say I don't see it nearly as much as I used to, I get put off as well and frustrated because I want to see someone's real skin and real texture and all of that. Now, the thing is that even without any sort of smoothing or filter on a camera lens, lighting does sort of blow out our faces, for lack of a better word. I honestly think that people don't realize what the lighting does. It smooths some wrinkles. I'm not gonna lie. The thing I don't get was when people say my face doesn't move, because I think my face totally moves. I've never gotten enough Botox to where my face was frozen. Never. I would never want that. And now you might be thinking, well, then don't use that lighting. Do something else. Use natural light. Well, a lot of times we try to use natural light, and some people are able to do that. It depends on where you're filming. The direction of my house where I'm filming now, well, I used to film in the basement. I didn't get any good lighting down there. I had to use the artificial lighting. And because of the way my setup is now, the sunlight or daylight doesn't really filter in at the right angle because you have to consider shadows and you want the makeup and your skin to be as true as possible, but that's not always possible. So just keep that in mind, that that is one of the main reasons why your skin especially doesn't look perhaps as good as you think your favorite YouTubers does. Okay, the next things are editing and touch-ups. What I mean by touch-ups is that when I am filming a tutorial, and I don't want to speak for every YouTuber, but I am friends with quite a few of them. I have spoken to many over the years. And when we do tutorials, of course, we don't often, some people do this, I see them very rarely, where people will do a tutorial in real time. Because for a lot of us, it could take a full hour of applying our makeup to get a 10-minute tutorial or 15-minute tutorial. If I'm just at my vanity doing my makeup, I can get this done in 15 minutes flat. So again, what we do is we edit, we take out some of the blending, or we take out when we use the makeup wipe to fix something. So there very likely could have been some extra steps done that weren't shown in the video. Again, sometimes it's for time, sometimes it's just something that you can't even explain to a viewer that you've done. I will often have to get up and go back into my vanity to grab a product, and I'll see myself in the mirror and I'll say, oh, you know, my eyeliner is a little bit off and I didn't notice it here in this setup. So I will maybe clean it up and then come back. And so it looks a little bit better when I've come back. And it's not just me. Again, I'm not going to speak for 100% of YouTubers, but I've spoken to enough where I know this happens. It's not trying to be deceitful, and it's just that we're trying to appeal to such a broad audience. And some viewers like a lot of detail and teaching, and others just want to see what shade you used, the approximate area where you applied it, and then they'll do their own techniques. So that's really the main reason why we might leave out a few touch-ups here and there. And when I say editing, I also mean a lot of YouTubers don't get close up enough. I try to get really, really close when I'm doing my eye makeup. I try to do a very, very cropped shot. I've actually had some people tell me that it's too close, so I think I've found that happy medium where you can really see what I'm doing, but it's not, you know, my eyeball right in your face. So I've tried to come to the place where you can see what I'm doing, and I try to really teach in my videos. I'm really not trying to put down any other YouTubers when I say this, but a lot of them don't get close up enough. I think many of you will agree with me. You're watching a tutorial, and how do they expect you to see anything or learn anything if they're not close up? So try to find those YouTubers that really do listen when you ask them to zoom in a little bit more, because some, I've read their comments and they're asked over and over to get a little bit closer and they just don't. I don't know why, but I think a lot of YouTubers now are getting the message where you've got to zoom in. The viewer wants to learn something, and how can they if they can't see what you're doing? Another thing I really hope you'll all keep in mind when watching tutorials is that we've been practicing on our own faces for so long, and some of us, yes, I have a background in makeup artistry. I've worked on tons of faces, hundreds, thousands of faces over my 20+ year career as a makeup artist. But even YouTubers have been doing makeup on their own faces for quite a long time. And a lot of us practice. Maybe we'll do a test run of a look before we film it. Or maybe we've done one eye off camera and then we'll do the other one on camera, and we've had the time to perfect that first eye before moving on to the second eye. Now, the last thing I want to address is probably the most important. It's the most important thing I want you to think about when you're frustrated that you didn't achieve the same look as your favorite beauty YouTuber. Well, actually, there's one more thing. Obviously, eye shape, face shape, all of that comes into play, age, skin elasticity, but I think we all realize that. And what I don't think we all realize is that we, myself included, we focus far too much on our flaws. Raise your hand if you're guilty of that. You are looking at your face and what you've done with such a critical eye that most others are not. And I had to learn that through doing YouTube. I learned that a lot of times people don't notice things that we notice. So when you look at yourself after you finish doing your makeup, after you've followed a tutorial, really try to focus on the positive things that you've done. Perhaps your outer corner blending has improved, or maybe you learned a new trick for your winged liner, or maybe you really love the new blush placement on you. So maybe the whole look isn't exactly like the YouTubers, but anytime you apply your makeup is practice and you will get better. And again, focus on ways that you've improved and don't be so critical of yourself. All right, now that we've touched on all of the reasons why your makeup might not come out like your favorite beauty guru / YouTubers, I want to talk about skincare routines. I truly believe that most viewers realize by now that for many of us, YouTube is our job. Buying the latest products is part of our job. Trying new products is part of our job. And how does one keep their job? They have to be honest. They have to have integrity. They have to make their customer or their boss happy. And you, my subscribers and viewers, you're my boss. And if I am ever dishonest to you, I betray your trust, what's going to happen to my channel? It's going to die. If I lose your trust in me, I have nothing. I have no channel. I have no job. Because right now, YouTube, thankfully, thanks to all of you, has become my job. And part of my job is to try new products, including new skincare. I also have a very broad audience. I have cultivated a Risa Does Makeup family that is of all socioeconomic levels. Some of you love luxury makeup, high-end products, and others are asking me to do more drugstore. And guess what? I love a good drugstore dupe or a good drugstore find, especially when it comes to skincare, because as we all know, skincare can be very, very, very expensive. But here's the thing. When I upload a new skincare routine, like I did the other day, and someone asks me, Risa, you were talking about that Ordinary Peel 6 months ago and how much you loved it and how it transformed your skin. Why isn't that in your routine? And just because I switch up my routine, that doesn't mean that the other products I spoke about before, that I've changed my mind about them, that I think they're no good now or that this one is better. We have to change it up because we have to be able to give you all different options. We have to be able to compare and let you know. So when you do ask me, Risa, what's the difference between the Ordinary Peel and that L'Oreal serum that you showed? Can you tell me which one is more effective? Which one should I choose? And by trying these different products, I am able to give you a real answer when you ask me to compare products. But again, just because I'm using a different moisturizer now than I used 3 months ago does not mean that that moisturizer I used 3 months ago is trash. I'm just switching things up. A lot of viewers want to see only products that are cruelty-free. Others want to see products that are, under a certain price point. So I do have to be able to give my viewers options. We YouTubers have to be able to give our viewers options. And when it comes to sponsorships and skincare, I can't speak for every other YouTuber out there, but the ones that I speak to on a regular basis, we've all turned down big money if for some reason we try the product and we don't like it, or if we've tried the product in the past and didn't like it and feel like we can't promote it. So really what I want you to take away from all of that, and when I talk about the truth about skincare routines and beauty YouTubers, it's that for the majority of us, we are letting you know the routine that we've been using for a few weeks that has worked. But that does not mean that prior products didn't work or that we no longer recommend them. And it doesn't mean that in the future we won't try something else that we love. That said, I'm sure there are some YouTubers that never change up their skincare because sometimes it doesn't go so well. Sometimes we can have a reaction to something or it can make our skin look worse. But for most of us whom YouTube is their full-time job, it's sort of imperative that we switch things up, try new things, and be able to offer you alternative suggestions and compare products. Oh gosh, I'm really nervous about how long this video is going to be. And if you sat through the whole thing, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you got some helpful insights into what goes on behind the scenes of the YouTube world. If you did enjoy this video, I always appreciate it when you give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I try to upload new videos at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to try to focus, at least for the near future, on tips and tricks, and let me know in the comments what other types of content you want to see from me. I always appreciate your suggestions. So that'll do it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.